Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Real Women, Real Talk. We are here. I am so excited. We are so excited because you already see we have grown. There's not just two of us, but for this episode, there are three of us. My name is Trenace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women, and we are welcoming you to Real Talk. And we is my co-host. We're going to start there. Doctor, therapist, soon to be, Shavon Carter. Would you say hello to the people?
Hello, everybody. Happy to be back with y'all today.
It's so good to be here with you all. We are elated. I am so excited because this is our second guest, and we are only bringing you, first of all, the best of the best. And second, those who have poured into us as real women. And so before we introduce her, she is right there. You can see her. You know her. And if you don't know her, you've been under a rock and you're about to find out. But I first want to say welcome to Real Women, Real Talk. You can find out all about us by going to our website. We are an extension of Real Women Rock, and we are here to support women, creating safe spaces for them. We don't want to dig into a lot of that. You can go to our previous episodes to find out more. We want to jump right in with this amazing woman. So please go to our website to find out more about us. And good news, we want you to interact with us during this podcast episode. So there'll be an opportunity for you to jump into the conversation and share with us via email or a website. So stay tuned for that. We are elated to bring to our podcast Dr. Anika Wilson Brown. And I think both of us probably can share a little bit about who she is to us and what she means to us. I will say to the world, to her church community, to our state, to literally our, and I'm going to say our African American community, but also our community at large. She is a voice to be reckoned with. I have heard folks like Ayanna Van Zant and Jasmine Schoolark and so many others just speak to her being the voice of today. She is the pastor of Union Temple Baptist Church and a psychologist and just a counselor. So many things that she has done in her life have brought her to this space to be a voice for those of us who feel like, you know what, you don't have to compromise. You can be as fly as you want to be and as faith-filled as you want to be. And I just am so grateful personally for your life and your walk. You are walking and trailblazing in front of us as women who are striving to be in ministry and in the marketplace, who really want to be righteous and relevant. And so it is just important, the work that you are doing. So I don't know if you want to say anything, Shavon, before we allow her to say hey to the people, but we are this excited about having you here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about having Dr. Anika. I remember when we had a Real Women Intensive, and I really got to experience Dr. Anika. And just, I love how you integrate spirituality and mental health and our culture also. So that just really stuck with me, that session that you facilitated. And I just appreciate you, just the wealth of knowledge that you have. And I'm just so glad that you are here to impart wisdom and all the jewels that you have for us today.
Yes.
Okay, say hello to the people. Anything you want to share about yourself? Hey, girl.
Hey, family. This is family for me. And when I say real family, sisterhood, connection, it means the world to be here and to spend time. I get invited a lot of places, but when I can get to hang out with my sister girlfriends, I'm super excited about being here, and all of the love you all give to me, I give it back to you. I'm super excited about this organization in particular, and what it means for sisterhood, what it means for our evolution and growth as women. And so I'm glad to be here and be a part of this conversation tonight.
Thank you so much. And I do want to just piggyback off of that really quickly before we jump into our segments, because you put your action, your walk where your talk is about your love for us. And I believe it. Your love is actionable. Wherever you say you love, you show it.
Yeah.
And we are one of those places. So much so that you believe in what we are doing and have partnered with us so that we are able to host, as you all who have watched and listened know, we host sister circles across the country and abroad. And Dr. Anika has allowed us to partner with the women of Union Temple so that we can host a Real Women DC out of her church. Yeah. And so Real Women DC, women, let us hear you, women of the temple. We really do want you to go to the website. You can either go to Union Temple's website and find out more about Women of the Temple and Real Women Meeting, or you can go to our website, realwomenrock.org, to find out more. We are meeting on second Saturdays, mostly in person in this season. We also meet virtual when it's feasible. And we just want you to join in. If you are in the DC metro area, you want to be in the room. We are real and relevant and raw, but we are supporting each other and helping each other. So I just wanted to say thank you for that partnership.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I believe that it is the first of many to come. You know, we're in this mode now, I think, as a community where we are recognizing we all got gifts in areas of expertise. And so why recreate something that is already working, you know? So I think we thrive better in community and when we work together in that way. So I appreciate you for being open to the partnership. And I'm grateful. I think the women here are tremendously blessed by it.
Well, I love it. I love it. And we love it. So thank you so much. So listen, y'all just got a part of the Love Fest. Just join in. We have 4 segments and we, no different. We just invite you, Reverend Anika, to be a part of. And I'm gonna just tell you, we're gonna pay you your spec. We're gonna put spec on your name, right? But we also are just sister girls here. So we're gonna have some sister girl conversation with Dr. Anika. And our first segment is Real Talk. And with Real Talk, we just really want to know how you doing. And we don't mean it like when you passing somebody on the street and you say, oh, how are you? And they say, I'm fine, and move past them. We want to know how you really doing. Oh, yeah. And so we will start with you, Anika. How are you doing, Nick?
Oh, my goodness. Listen, I am doing all the things. I am at a place in ministry at my life where things are just breaking through and I'm on all kinds of ground. It brings with it a lot of joy, but also a lot of apprehension when you walk into new territory and you expose yourself, right? And so it's a scary, beautiful time. And so one moment I'm doing real good, and the next moment I'm like, what in the world am I doing? And why am I here? And God, I didn't know it was going to be all of this. So I go back and forth between those, but I'm really taking time right now to make sure that I'm prioritizing my own well-being and self-care, because my pattern and habit is when things get heavy, stressful, intense, as far as my purpose and my mission, I forget myself. That is the reason that I had gained a lot of weight, the reason I'm healthiest, because I'm always putting myself on the back burner. And so I'm being very intentional right now about, and I don't say balancing, because I don't think I will ever obtain balance, because the area of my life is always going to require a little more of me based on what's going on. So I'm striving for harmony and putting myself at the center so that I'm prioritizing my well-being no matter what is going on. So I'm doing good. I'm juggling. I'm pushing through. You know, life is happening, but we gonna keep it moving. You know, that's where I am right now.
That's
I
so
know that's
good. So good and so honest. Like you've
right.
been ear hustling because we've been talking about that balance is not a real word. Like
Yeah.
really, it's just really seasonal. You have different focus, and so I love that you are in just a real way balancing, juggling, as you put it, juggling
Yes.
what's going on with what you're doing. So thank you for being so honest about that. Shavon, how you doing, girl?
Hey,
Girl, okay,
girl.
listen. I am so proud of myself. I'm just celebrating me in this moment. I just got out of a session with a client, and before that, I was working my 9 to 5. So to see my day, it's like, girl, you are doing it, and I'm so proud of
Mhm.
you. So
Mhm.
that's how I'm feeling right now. Just really proud of the progress that I've made and where I am right now, and just celebrating me. And like Dr. Anika said, just thinking about self care and what that looks like, especially in this new role that I'm in as a counselor in training, and just thinking about what I need. And what I need in this moment is to tell myself I'm proud of me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That
We're
is
proud
so
of you
good.
too, girl.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Get it.
Yeah.
Listen, and Dr. Nika, when we started these, we're on 40 something now, our 40 something episode. Stop counting. But
Mhm.
we started at some point with Shavon just reaching out, just really having the gumption to reach out to find a practicum and that kind of thing, and just seeing her nestle in real good. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's so good. So proud of you.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how are you doing, ma'am?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm so surprised I did not come back with an accent because I can say now, by the time this episode airs, my official birthday month has passed because it's the month of June. But right now, as we are recording, I'm sitting in the midst of my birthday month, and I have been having a
Hey.
blast. You hear me? It is
Yes.
all about my birthday, and
Yes.
I spent a good 7 days in Nigeria, in
Woo!
Africa, and it was everything I needed it to be. I really got to experience a little bit of everything, all class of living, and got to serve a bit. The library that I helped sponsor, I got to visit and read to the kids,
Mhm.
and then got to see sites, and I went with someone who lives there, so she was able to just share a whole world with me that I wouldn't have seen as a tourist on my own. So it was beautiful. It was wonderful. And then I came home and it was hotter here than it was in Nigeria.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
wow.
Yeah.
So much
Wow.
so I got my Beyonce fan going right now because
Hello.
there's no there's
Mm.
no heat AC in my office right now. So I'm just I'm doing really well. I'm enjoying turning 50
Yes.
and
Yes.
basking in the fact that I don't feel whatever 50 is supposed to feel like, I don't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it's supposed to look like, I don't.
Hello.
So all is well in my world, real talk. It really is.
Yes. That's beautiful. I
That's
love
good.
that for you. I love
Yeah,
it.
thank
Yeah.
you. So listen, this is really, we really want you to slow down sometimes and ask people how you really doing. Like,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
give them space to answer. Too
Yes.
often we just move past that question. And so we are really asking you, and if you have the desire to share it with us in real time, we would love to know. Go to speakpipe.com/real women real talk, or you can email us at info@realwomen.org. And we have gotten some emails from you all that have made us really talk here on this here
Mm.
podcast. So we would love to hear how you are really doing. Please share it with us. All right. We'll be
Yes.
able to share some other opportunities for you later in the episode for you to share on SpeakPipe as well. We're going to our second segment, moving from real talk. We're going to take a deep dive with Dr. Anika. And
Okay.
Yes.
if you have, first of all, you need to be on Union Temple's website. You need to be
Mhm.
on their live stream on Sunday. I am a virtual member. So I can tell you, sure enough, there is a deep dive happening every Sunday. And so this is going to be a treat, I can guarantee you. Dr. Anika, I was so pleased to see your theme for this year. I could have leapt
Yeah.
literally and
Yeah.
figuratively as a result, because I really do believe, first of all, you marry the spiritual, the physical, and the metaphysical in such a beautiful way.
Mm.
You don't shame or hide any piece of who you are and who you are created to be as an African and an African American.
That's right.
You really just merge all of that in such a wonderful way. So when you went straight for quantum leaps, I was like, you know what? We're going to sit here on for these Sunday services and get what we need to get.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you want our theme, our conversation for this deep dive is going to be about quantum leaps and making bold moves, because that's kind of where you've been situated
Yeah.
in what you have been teaching and sharing.
Mm.
But I really do want you to share from any space that you like. I think I want to start by asking you what led you to that theme,
Yeah.
before we jump in. Can we start there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We always have a theme for the year. And I spend time praying, meditating. Um, I always consult the ancestors. I always am looking at numerology to see what is going to be the energy of the year. And the year 2024 is the number 8. And so the more that I sat with and reflected on like the meaning of the number 8, and it literally means power, it means
Mhm.
activation, it means forward movement. It meant all of these words. And so, I sit with it, I reflect on it, and then all kinds of messages. I'm open to Holy Spirit, and I'm like, all right, show me, talk to me, reveal to me. And then I can't tell you exactly how, but there are all these moments of synchronicity that come to me. And anytime that you are seeking and you are asking Spirit, you will find that messages find you. Right. So it could be in the grocery store and somebody randomly walks by and says something, or you walking past and you see a piece of paper, or you stumble across a book, or maybe for me, it was a book that was already on my shelf that I had never read called The Big Leap. And then I go on one of my mentors, Iyanla Van Zant's year end, where she's talking about what books she's reading for the end of the year. And she's like, I'm reading this book called The Big Leap. And I was like, huh? Wait a minute. That was just, I haven't even read it, but it's on my shelf. So I began to pull it out. And the more I sat with it, the message just kept coming that this year was about making progression, that this year was going to be about exponential growth and not incremental growth.
Mhm.
But the message that came to me is that you will end this year, 2024, light years ahead of where you started. That it
Oh,
will
wow.
not be small baby steps, but that there will be some significant, monumental moments of acceleration with
Mm.
your health, with your relationships, in your finances, right? That you would see happening. And so my job as a prophet pastor is to release and to make the announcement of what the year has in store for us, with the hope that some of us will grab it and take a hold of it and just be intentional about living that thing out. So it kind of happens organically, but also intentionally as I seek what it is. Dr. Jazz Skerlock, she was like, Anika, did you know what you was talking about when you said that? Because she was like, no, things are really happening in your ministry like crazy. Like I was like, no. She's like, I bet if you knew what it was, you probably would have changed the theme. I said, you got that right. Because it's required us to be bold in such a way and step out of comfort zone. Every time I get comfortable, something comes to move me. Like,
Mm, mm,
hey,
mm.
stay here. I have not even really had a lot of moments to even celebrate all that is happening. Because as soon as I'm celebrating, it's like, all right, next, like open doors, open doors, open doors, new pathways, new vision, new, and it's just happening all around us. And so, girl, it is what it is.
Let me tell you, that make you excited. I knew that this was the episode. You hear me?
Yeah.
This is the one we all need because I have a question, and Shavon, just jump in whenever you got one. But I have a question because as a prophet pastor, you feel it, you sense it, you declare it. Is it up to us? Because I'm receiving it, right? But is it up to us to receive it and grab a hold of it for it to manifest for us? Because there are some laws in life that are going to happen. Reaping and sowing happens whether you believe in it or not. It's just it happens.
Yes.
So to what degree do we listening and watching have to grab a hold of the promise of quantum leaps in order for them to happen for us?
Yeah. Well,
the
truth is, they're going to happen whether you are aware of them or not. They're happening all around you, right? Whether you are conscious and aware of what is happening is a different thing. Whether you choose to participate and leave your limits and step out of your fixed mindset is a decision, right? I feel like we're always at choice. And I always go back to Jesus. Anytime he did a mental health intervention or a health intervention, right? The question was always, do you want to be made whole? Because wholeness is here, like wholeness is standing in front of you. But if you don't want it, you ain't going to have to experience it. But this person next to you will, right? And so you can be an innocent bystander or you can be a partaker. But it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Woo! I think I need the reminder, and we all do at some point. We need the reminder that your access is right here. It's right here.
Right here.
All you got to you can sit right beside your access and ruminate and grieve and whine and complain. Absolutely. And just not grab a hold of your access. I love how you pictured that for us just now.
Because we don't like change. We are enemies of change. As much as we say we want change, we're creatures of habit. And even in conditions that we don't like or enjoy, but rather sometimes have that because it's familiar than disrupting that and going into the unknown. It's our attachment to what we know. It's our unwillingness to step outside of what is familiar. It is our fixation on what we have seen, right? But there is so much more that you have not seen, and so much more outside of the scope of your present reality that is right there.
Yeah.
Right? So good. So I saw you, Shavon. Go ahead.
Because my wheels spinning. So I'm thinking about the person, Dr. Anika, who may be watching this or listening to this, and they're like, what you are saying sounds amazing. It sounds great. And their perspective has been so clouded by life experiences that they are having a hard time grasping the quantum leap. Like, what would you say to that person who's listening and just haven't been able to grasp, what's right in front of them or even see it?
It really takes some internal work. It takes having conversations like this. It takes having healing conversations in therapy or with other folks who are spiritual, because it's exposure to something different, right? Because I think we get fixated on the wrong things. The pain, the struggle, the challenges are all temporary. So there's an exercise in the Course in Miracles, a book called A Course in Miracles. And one of the early exercises that you can do for your spiritual development is actually walk through your day and label everything temporary. This chair is temporary. This job is temporary. That lamp is temporary. This car is temporary. And when you recognize that, you have this ability to step into a realm of existence that is unseen,
Mm.
that is beyond your present reality or your current existence. So we're so entrenched in this reality, what's here, what we can touch, what we can feel, that we forget there is so much more happening beyond and behind that.
Yeah.
Right? That if we stop tripping off of what's temporary, we can actually lean into what's permanent. What is permanent is the power, the love, the goodness, the abundance, the greatness, all of these things that we have access to that we don't tap into because we're stuck on what is temporary. So it takes some work. It's a shift. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in awareness. It's that kind of shift in awareness that when you see a butterfly, everybody else sees a butterfly, but you know it means something else. When you see a certain bird, everybody else just see a bird, and you see that bird, and you like, wait, this was a message. Like it's a different level of awareness and consciousness, so that even when your boss is acting funky or your children are acting crazy, you can see it for what it is, but at the same time, you like, oh nah, it's something behind this, right? There's a message in this. There is something, a shift in reality for me to gain in this, right? So we got to stay tapped into that unseen.
That's so good. It reminds me of Habakkuk, right? And just the idea that if I stay right here, I'm going to be asking God, why? Like, why is all of this happening around me? Why is all of this calamity and all of this disaster? But if I choose to climb up just a little higher and see things from God's perspective, I'm able to see there's a reason, there's a taking care of all of this that is happening that I can't see when I'm just looking at it straight away from where I'm standing. So that level of sight and awareness is amazing.
It is.
I want to connect what Shavon asked and what you said to some real practical steps, because we can stay up here and say, and we are really saying, it starts with your mindset. It starts with what you choose to think about and focus on. Are there some practical steps that people can take that moves them closer to quantum leap mindset and making bold moves? Are there things that they can do? You just gave a really good one from Course of Miracles, that you can begin to do some exercises. Any other thoughts about what someone listening can do to shift their thinking?
Yeah, I think it's important to think about what you're thinking about. So much happens on the unconscious and subconscious level, right? If you look at the research, it says we think some kind of crazy amount of thoughts per day, right? Some of them aren't even conscious. They're coming to us, from things we watch, from things we see, from messages from our past. But when we stay totally unconscious to that, you'll find yourself having mood swings. You'll find yourself being frustrated. You'll find yourself just being tossed, right? So it's important to think about what you're thinking about and be intentional about reprogramming some of those thoughts. And we do that through affirmations. We do that through getting Post-it notes and sticking them up on your mirror or on your rear view mirror in your car, or on your, lamp in the house, so that there is a intentional programming that's going on, where you're speaking things to yourself that can cancel out some of those negative thoughts as they come up, like in real time. That begin this practice of automatically changing your thoughts through what you're saying to yourself. So I firmly believe in affirmations. I firmly believe in paying attention to the things that you are watching and witnessing, as far as the news, as far as keeping your television on all night and not knowing what messages are being programmed, into your mind while you're resting, and just being intentional about what goes in, right? Because there's so many things you can't control that are going to come in, but there are some things that you really can control and make it a practice. Yeah.
So good. So good. I can keep rolling because I just pulled out my affirmation cards. I create some every year. I have some that I've created, but I have some, of course, that are manufactured that I can use as well. I have some on my bathroom mirror. Like it's a real thing that can keep you centered and focused on the right things and thinking about what you're thinking about. I love it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Shavon? Because I got one more that I can ask. You good?
No, I'm good. I'm just listening to Dr. Anika. This is so good. Go ahead.
So this is so good. What we do in this segment is take a deep dive for just a few minutes. And then we bring it back up. We got some fun in store, but before we close this section out, I want to invite and really just implore those of you who are listening who are either like, I have no clue how I heard the words that are coming out of your mouth, but I'm not living in that space right now and it doesn't feel possible and doable. There are at least three different ways that you can get into community where this is happening. These kinds of conversations are happening.
Yeah.
Union Temple, this is where you get this at Union Temple. This is the kind of conversation that you get from the pulpit. Like literally, this is the theme for Union Temple right now. So please go to Union Temple's website, because no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the services. Real Women Sister Circles are in person as well as virtual, so you can experience these kinds of conversations. This podcast is just an extension of our sister circles. So we have these real conversations there. And if you decide to come to Real Women DC, you get both of these suckers together. You hear me? So we just implore you to find a way. It doesn't have to be us either. Wherever you can go to get poured into on a regular basis, so that there's life-giving conversation that's happening that causes your baby to leap on the inside and say, I can make major moves. That's where we want you to be. Any final words on this deep dive topic before we move on to our last two segments, Reverend Anika?
I mean, I would just end it by saying, because I hear you and I know how it can be to sit and hear a conversation like this and feel like it's so far away from you and so outreach. But I just want to say to every sister out there, you are not a victim to anything. You are more powerful than you realize. You are a co-creator with God. And anything that you experience in your life, God created it or you did. Because the enemy, the devil, as they call him, is not a creator. He comes to kill and destroy, but he can't create. That's empowering to me, because it means that if I created something, I can uncreate it. I can change it. I can shift it. I can transmute it. I can alchemize it. I can move it. Okay. So remember who you are, sis. Remember who you are, that you are not a victim to anything or anybody.
That's so good. We are more powerful than we give ourselves credit for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what this conversation is about. This deep dive on quantum leaps. I don't know about you, Shavon, but I'm exhaling in major ways. It's exactly what we needed to happen. So thank you for this deep dive. So grateful. So we get deep and we we are some righteous women. We also just have a little bit of fun, and we know you love fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me say first, if this deep dive, let me go get serious again. If this deep dive ministered to you, or you want to talk through it some more, you want to explore, we really do want to hear from you. Speakpipe.com/Real Women Real Talk. Let us know. You may be right on this wavelength. We know Women of the Temple and Real Women, you are listening and watching, and we want to hear even your testimonies, your witness that quantum leap is a real thing in my life, because I have seen it happen. It is happening for me now. We want to hear from you. Please reach out to us by email or on the website. You can record. We will hear your voice. And we will get to share some of your thoughts. We would love to do that. Okay. All right, so we just gonna come up out of the water just a little bit.
Take our scuba gear off.
And we call this episode, this segment of the episode, "Putting Myself in Her Shoes," or his shoes, or their shoes, because it gives us an opportunity to talk about maybe a scenario about something that we found or come up with that we want to talk through, a current topic or something that's trending. And we get to share from a very self-centered place, so that we're not pointing fingers and saying what you should have done was. We get to look at ourselves and inward and say, well, if I were in that position, how would I handle that? It allows us to be more empathetic. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to my sister, because she has our scenario today.
All right.
Yes. So this is a trending topic on social media, and it's dealing with a young lady who is a social media influencer. She goes by Pretty V. Her real name is Devonna Excel. And since I have two doctors on tonight, I thought this would be a great topic for us to address. So the buzz on social media is that Pretty V received an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism from the Global International Alliance, which is an online school, and it's an award program that teaches and trains individuals on how to develop and serve in the community. So she posted about receiving this honorary doctorate and celebrated. And so people were just saying how they really don't like when people are awarded or recognized with these honorary doctorates, and don't think that they should be called doctor anything because they didn't earn it. And those who have gone through the process and the years and the work involved in the dissertations and everything, some people are just offended by that. And so putting yourself on both sides, because you are have received your doctorates in your fields. Just wondering how you would feel, like if a school were to come to you and desire to award you with an honorary doctorate if you did not have one already, and then on the other side being doctors. What are your thoughts if you were putting yourself in both shoes? How would you respond, or how do you feel about that? So we'll start with you.
Child, look at your face.
Dr. Anika.
Oh,
Go wherever you want to go,
I
child.
have a lot of thoughts
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
As someone who has put in the blood, the sweat, and the tears and barely made it out, right? There is this sense of value associated with the work that is required and the level of expertise that is required to be called a doctor, right? That's just straight facts. At the same time, I am clear when I look at the statistics on, I had no idea how rare it was for me to have an earned PhD until I looked at the numbers and saw how thin the air was up there. So I think it is partially a great accomplishment, right, that you celebrate, but it's also an ego response to then look at someone else and say undervalue or devalue the community covering this person. Because truth be told, it wasn't until recent years when we had the access, when we had the resources, i.e. student loans, to be able, like, they would not even let us in these institutions, right? So as a community, we have always named those who we esteem for ourselves, and we didn't wait for nobody else to do it. We have a brother in our church right now that we call Bishop. He ain't no bishop. You know, you had little kids, little cousins, and your aunt or your uncle call them deacon, right? Or a doc, right? We just would always call each other doc. Why? Because we get to value what others do not value. And I feel it's important for us as community to be able to love on one another in that way, particularly because there were times we couldn't afford it, we couldn't do it, they wouldn't even let us in these institutions. And even now that the door is partially open, many of us still can't access that level of education because we're raising our families, we're trying to survive, and we can't afford it, and any myriad of systemic reasons that you can put there to say as a reason, right? So I started it off that way to say, girl, you better get your doctorate. I got mine, right? It to say, what makes that doctorate any less valuable than mine? Is serving her community. Our grandmamas and great grandmamas should have got doctorates in service, in religion, and in religion and spirituality, right? And even in medicine. How they study the herbs and the plants, and they can heal your body better than any doctor, right? So that's my thought on it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I love it
Dr.
too.
Trenace Richardson.
I love the balance of the response, Dr. Anika. I love it. I'm not too different from what you shared. I'll share from my own lens. The first thing I thought when you said it, honestly, was do you, boo? That was the first thing I thought. I thought, do you? Because if you ask the question, if someone offers me an honorary doctorate, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to vet the organization or the place that's giving it, because I have had that happen. I have been offered one, and I was like, oh, thank you, just because of where it was coming from. But I would be honored that someone wanted to bestow that on me, because an honorary doctorate typically means it's typically not bought. It is still, it says from your experiences, your work experience, the wisdom that you have in a certain area, your level of attainment in that industry, that we want to recognize your expertise in that way. And so, of course, I would appreciate that if it were offered to me. I do think there needs to be a clear distinction between an honorary doctorate and an earned doctorate. And I believe that that question is asked many times. I've been asked, what is your doctorate in, or where did you get your doctorate from? That question has been asked. And so to be able to answer that honestly, I think is important. So
girl,
that
you get it off of Amazon.
That's important. I think I should be able to say I got mine from the George Washington University, and you should be able to say you got yours from the internet. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm so serious, no tea, no shade. If that is meaningful, do you? I really honestly mean that from my heart. I also think that if I am going to call myself, Dr. Anika mentioned the word egotistical, because if I am going to say that I am a non-judgmental person and I don't put bias, and my implicit biases on other people about things, and I don't impose my values on others. If I do that in other spaces, I have to hold myself accountable in this space as well, right? So I do value my earned 10-year long degree. I do value that. I do. And from my experiences, I have a right to do so. That does not mean, and that translates into religion. It translates into class systems, socioeconomic, where you live, where you work, what you drive. That does not mean I get to lord that over anybody. And so I think there's a both and there, So I don't even like the cattiness of social media and how they would put a pretty V down because of she's just celebrating what somebody chose to bestow upon her. She wasn't lording it over anybody, and social media will find a way to make it about something else. But that's me. Do you live and let live?
So what would I do?
Shavon? Yes.
I think if I were awarded an honorary doctorate, I would be appreciative, and thankful for it. And I would also pay homage to those who have gone through the process that you
Mm,
ladies have gone through, because I think that would be important. I
mm,
understand the distinction between the two, and I would not want anyone to mistake uh, my award for going through that process, even if I have worked and have experienced. So I think I would want to say that, just to
mhm.
pay homage to those who have earned it in that way. And so if I were on the other side, I would not care, because that has nothing to do with the doctorate that I earned.
Mhm,
And so that's not my business.
mhm.
You know? That's how I would feel about it. It does not take away from anything or any experience or the hard work that I put into it. So yeah, I would not worry myself about what happened on that side, because that has nothing to do with my process and what I did. Yeah, and it's not going to take anything away from me.
Don't
So
take anything away.
It
Mm-mm.
does not take anything away. That's not my business. I
that is
love
not
that.
my business. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, I believe we have given a very balanced view, but
Yeah.
maybe you disagree with us. We want to hear all of it. So again, for the last time, please feel free to go to speakpipe.com/real women real talk. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear it. Maybe you feel some kind of way. You might have been one of the people responding to Pretty B, like, girl, please. Like,
Right.
like, what are you
Mhm.
talking about? We want to hear from you. We would love to. So this has been so good. Did you feel how this time flew by?
Yes.
We've done
Mhm.
Yes.
it. We have so enjoyed this time with you. It has been a blessing. And I
Mhm.
sincerely mean that there are some people whose presence, who just sharing, just smiling, just being with them is good vibes. It's good
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah.
And I always get that from you, and I'm just so appreciative of that. It could be 2 days between or 2 years between communicating on any deep level, but I will remember and reconnect in the moment because of who you are and who you are to me. So
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank
um,
you.
our last segment, and this is your opportunity to kind of put it all in a bow. It is our spiritual nugget, where we leave after kikiing for a little bit, taking a
Mhm.
little deep dive. We leave with a spiritual nugget that would inspire, that would motivate or challenge. It may be something that came out of the episode. It may be something that kind of emerges out of you. We would love for you to share this spiritual nugget with us. Any thought that is maybe something in your devotion time. There's also a power up that y'all be missing if you're not on her
Yes.
social media in the
Mhm.
morning, that you need to if you do it like me, you go on the replay and you catch it
Yep.
there. So
Yeah.
whatever you do, but
Yeah.
maybe it's from something that you've been sharing in Power Up. Wherever you want to take us, we would love these to close out our episode with your spiritual nugget.
Yeah, I think the nugget I like to share is I've been sitting with this idea that it's halftime.
Mm,
And whatever sport you play, if there is a halftime, it is a time for you to recalibrate and realign
mhm,
and refresh yourself for the second half.
Mm.
mm.
Yeah.
I
And
felt that.
so,
Okay.
and so whatever the first half of this year has been, Spirit has been nudging me to sit on the bench for a minute,
Mm.
recalibrate, realign, and refresh.
Mm.
Because what is coming in the second half will be much better than what was happening in the first half. And
Mm.
so if you've had some losses, you're down in the score, you feel like things just haven't been going the way you want them to do, just know that the God we serve has the ability to exponentially advance you
Mm, mm,
Mm.
in the next 6 months, so that the score is about to change. For
mm.
those who have an ear, may you hear and receive. Give yourself the time that you need to recalibrate, realign, and rest yourself.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
The second half is here.
Woo!
Ah, Selah. Lord have mercy. Y'all. Thank you so much, Dr. Anika. Just from our heart, we love you. We appreciate you.
I love you too.
We honor you as sisters, and we honor you as a voice in this era, who can speak into us. And it is a blessing to be able to connect with someone who is so relevant that we can also respect and look up to. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Love you. Love you.
I love you too.
Yeah.
I'm relevant and I'm also ratchet. Ow.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I won't go say it. I let you say it. I let you say it. Well,
I gotta talk, Dr. Nika. Now, you know I like the ratchet. Yes.
I even look. I forgot about my real talk question because I was going to ask us about dancing and what music we dance to.
Yeah.
That just means you got to come back another time.
Okay.
We can talk about some stuff now.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much. We hope we have left you wanting, because we want you to connect with Reverend Anika. We want you to connect with Union Temple. We want you to connect with Real Women. Please come see about us. If you go to Real Women, you're going to be able to connect with Real Women DC, which connects all of us. Go to Union Temple Baptist Church, Reverend Anika. You're going to find it right away when you do the search. This has been another episode of Real Women, Real Talk, and we are here as a safe space for you. Like, follow, share wherever you find Real Women Rock, and make sure somebody hears this episode who needs to take a quantum leap. We love y'all. We'll see you next episode. Bye.
Bye, y'all.